compact an engine you have, I believe the better off you're going to be. You may ultimately lose horsepower to some of the 12-cylinder engines, but I think a 12-cylinder engine in 1993 will be a handicap rather than an asset.
Riccardo Patrese being half a second faster at the first intermediate point than Johnny Herbert. This morning, Riccardo Patrese, the 1:54.266, so he should be doing a time a little faster than that 1:54.266. Of course, he was a second and a half slower than teammate Nigel Mansell. The current situation is that Herbert is fastest, Häkkinen second, Van der Poel third, then Carl Wendlinger in the March with the Ilmar engine, and that's the last Grand Prix. He will be working with Gustav Brunner, who will be on his way to the Minardi team. Stefano Modena is 5th, Mauricio Gugelmin 6th, Katayama 7th, Bruya 8th, 9th Christian Fittipaldi, and 10th Roberto Moreno. And we've only had 13 cars out so far on a circuit where traffic should be less of a problem than Hungary. And Riccardo Patrese backed off.
He has. Riccardo Patrese backed off a lot earlier in this lap. We could see him as he came down through that double left Pujo corner, very quick to 5th gear corner, early apex, let the car run wide, then you make another very late apex. Very, very fast corner indeed, like many here at Spa. But Patrese, as you correctly saw, has backed off. Now he's going to pick up speed. Coming across the start-finish line, maybe there was something on the lap that he wasn't happy about. There was traffic, and although this circuit is not as difficult for traffic as Hungary, I guarantee you that virtually everybody here will say, oh, I had traffic somewhere on the lap. Somebody coming out of the pits, for example, the pit exit is on this downhill into Eau Rouge. You catch somebody coming through Eau Rouge, as they leave the pit, and you're on a flying lap, all your momentum is lost. This part of the circuit, this is a long uphill section, the Kemmel part of the circuit. It doesn't look steep, but believe me, you try and walk up it or bicycle up it, as I saw Alan McNish, who's here for the Formula 3000 race, do yesterday. He said, it's a long way up, and there's a Benetton in the... It's Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher losing control at La Source-Herpen. Not a very good way to start your day, Michael Schumacher.
Another man that improved is JJ Leto, who's currently in 4th place. This morning he did a 1:58.9, and JJ is now in a 1:57, and there we see, quite rightly so, John, what happened with Schumacher.
Lost it under brakes, locked up the right front, then he got it all out of shape, and then a quick little pirouette. Did he get the wing? He might just have clipped that wing, and I would think that Michael Schumacher would be very advised to, when he completes this lap, come straight back into the pits and not go too quick, because remember, in Hungary 2 weekends ago, when Martin Brundle gave that rear wing a little tap, didn't appear to be a big tap, but the wing came off very shortly after. Now, at Spa, one thing I can assure you do not want to have happen is any part of the aerodynamics of the car come off. It is a road circuit, it is very fast. This is Blanchimont, this is where Comas went off. That is flat out in 6th gear, and if you ever lost a wing there, well, it will be adios, I tell you, because that is a very unforgiving part of the circuit.
Riccardo Patrese is just about to complete his first flying lap. Whoa, it's 1:54. He's just on pole, the provisional pole, and we saw Mansell leave the pit. We know Gerhard Berger is out on the circuit because he's just put in 3rd fastest time, and Ayrton Senna is on the circuit. So all the top drivers are out there somewhere trying to get that pole position back from Riccardo Patrese, who is still a couple of tenths slower than what he did this morning.
McLaren this weekend have got the active ride car available. Just when or how they plan to use that, we're not clear and they're not saying. They did a lot of testing with it last week at Monza. They are going back again to Monza 2 days after this Grand Prix. There is no respite for Ayrton Senna or the new Ferrari driver for 93, Gerhard Berger. And I must say, Gerhard Berger, he had a press conference yesterday. He explained his decision to leave the McLaren team to go back to Ferrari. And it was like somebody had pumped a breath of fresh air into Gerhard. He was the Gerhard Berger of old. But remember, he's just had a 3-year period at the McLaren University of the art of being a Grand Prix driver. And being a Grand Prix driver isn't about what you do in the car. It's about learning how to be a Grand Prix driver, communicating with the team, all the promotional activities that go along with that. That 3-year course undoubtedly has made Berger a much better driver. But I think by going back to Ferrari, we'll see a lot more of the old personality of Gerhard Berger emerge, and combine that with all the lessons, a much better driver.
Watching Nigel Mansell, the world champion, who is, there we see Riccardo Patresi's time. He's a second faster than Riccardo Patresi, and when he went round the hairpin, John, I thought I saw that car sliding quite a lot. Of course, it is a road circuit, it's not used very much, and maybe we need some more rubber down. Maybe tomorrow we see the real fast times, because we're still a long way off last year's times.
Indeed we are, and of course, being a road circuit, as you point out, Allard, there's a lot of grime and just general dirt on a road circuit that has to get cleaned off. Well, Mansell comfortably quickest by a second, 1:52.557. That's just his first out lap. First timed lap is done, that's 2 laps in total. And now here we are with Ayrton Senna. Traffic again. You see Morbidelli getting in his way, climbing over the curbs to try and get out of the way, but Ayrton Senna has backed off. And talking about traffic, you'd think on a circuit that is 4.3 miles in length, 30 cars could find somewhere for each of those cars to race and not get in each other's way, but that is not the case.
The current situation here in Spa is, and you're still watching Eurosport live here on the Friday afternoon, Nigel Mansell is exactly 1 second faster than Riccardo Patresi. Johnny Herbert is in third, Gerhard Berger is fourth, Mika Häkkinen fifth, Eric van der Poel sixth, and JJ Lehto is in seventh. We're all waiting for Ayrton Senna to post the time. We'll see that after the break. Welcome back, live here on Eurosport. We're in Spa-Francorchamps, and we are John Watson and Allard Kalf, and I think we might see a little improvement from Nigel Mansell here, John.
We're hoping he will see an improvement, but he did get held up as he came through the Stabilo corner. Well, he lowered that momentum as he came into Stabilo, which is the lowest corner, the lowest part of the circuit. Car on the right-hand side of the road meant Mansell had to back off, of course. Again, the momentum that he lost was the entire distance from Stabilo up to the start-finish line, and that would have accounted for that little bit of lost time. Thierry Boutsen getting his car weighed.
Thierry, who's currently in 7th place on a 1:56.573, just in front of his countryman Eric van der Poel. We have seen 26 cars out so far, with Roberto Moreno, Michael Schumacher being the slowest too, but Schumacher, of course, is just on his way out, and we saw him spin off. Emmanuel Naspetti is out here in the March. He replaces Paul Belmondo, and Naspetti this morning was 27th fastest. He had the March team thinks he had a very good test on Silverstone South Circuit last week, where he was faster than Olivier Crouillard, but Spa maybe is not the best place to make your Grand Prix debut, because it is a very daunting and challenging circuit. Having said that, Thierry Boutsen made his debut here 10 years ago in Formula One.
Well, for Naspetti, of course, he has been here in Formula 3000. If I remember correctly, I think he won here last year, the Formula 3000 support event to the Belgian Grand Prix, so he is familiar with the circuit. But a Grand Prix car, significantly quicker, but principally round the corners. There's the G-forces, which are very much higher in a Grand Prix car than they are in that Formula 3000. In the meantime, Ayrton Senna climbing up the hill, up Kemmel, and coming up to Lake Coombe. This is the right, then the left, and then follows into the next right called Malmedy. Now, these are all famous names here at the Spa circuit, but principally when the circuit was at full 8+ miles. Dropping down into Rivage, always a corner of the front end, never wants to stick. And again, still dropping down, 4th gear, 5th gear, down to this Puho corner. A very, very challenging corner, really one of those corners here at Spa. If you get it correct, you can see the speed on the rev counter. Feels good as well, but very high loads. Then into Les Pagnes, this is the right left. That ultimately comes down to this next right, which is really part of the Stabilo, the complex. Try and stay off the curbs and the exit, because those can make the car dart around. Important to get the drive out of Stabilo all the way again uphill, up into Blanchemont.